Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. It is Monday. It is January 6th, and look who's back.
Hey, back. Gosh, I hope you had great holidays, everybody. And now I've got to get used to that whole 2020 thing.
Yes, you do. And we have some advice about writing that on legal documents like personal checks, things like that. Coming
Very
up
interesting.
Very end of the newscast. One of the things that happened while you were gone last week is former San Antonio Mayor, presidential candidate Julian Castro, dropped out of the race.
And today he has announced who he is backing.
He is now backing Senator Elizabeth Warren for president of the United States. More on that developing story coming up on the news at noon.
All right, Google, great thing. It makes it so easy for us to find things out, but apparently there is a downside to too much Googling.
We may be leaning a little too heavily when it comes to do-it-yourself home repairs.
Yes, according to this, 2 in 5 adults cannot fix a single household problem without Google.
New survey of 1,000 American adults suggests that all kinds of convenience may be robbing an entire generation of basic home maintenance skills. In all, about 2 in 5, as you said, helpless to unable to fix any common household item, patching up a drywall, fixing a running toilet without the help of the internet.
So apparently if the Wi-Fi happens to falter, many adults won't be able to get anything done for themselves. Here are some statistics. Close to half, 43%, said they know how to unclog a drain. Only 25% know how to install a drywall anchor.
Another 39% said they can stop a running toilet all by themselves. 38% said they can find a stud in the wall.
34% or 31% know how to patch a hole in drywall. 29% said they can replace a washer and on a leaky faucet. Well, that's a washer on a leaky faucet. I can do that.
You would hope that a lot of folks can do that.
But apparently age does matter in this as well, which is not surprising.
That's true. It says 85% of survey participants over the age of 65 said they can accomplish at least one of the aforementioned tasks without the internet.
If you're over 45, you're much more confident in your ability to perform repairs. And as you said, 18 to 24 admitted they can't do it. They just can't do it.
Research was conducted by Google Survey. So I guess there's a fair number of folks that, again, depending on age, can handle those basic DIY tasks, but we got a whole generation of folks who can't do anything without Googling it.
Well, it's like our generation and our parents and such. They didn't have the luxury of Google, so they had to learn and teach their kids.
I remember some of this stuff, like my dad taught me, but I do check Google to make sure I'm doing it right. Right, yeah.
Maybe it's knowledgeable to have a little knowledge in it, or smart to have a little knowledge in it, but then check it on Google.
I think the key is to take the initiative. Save yourself some money.
Yeah, let's take a look at your rundown.
A sea of people filling the streets in Iran Monday during the funeral services for Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Back in the U.S., thousands of troops are getting ready to deploy to the Middle East.
A horrifying crash on a Pennsylvania highway. 5 people were killed and nearly 60 injured.
We're learning new details about the crash investigation and the people who lost their lives.
4 men pulled up to the parking lot at the Pecan Valley Golf Club apartments to the 2 teen victims sitting in a car. The girl was shot in the back and the boy was grazed in the leg by a bullet, police say.
Authorities in Dallas are outraged after a toddler was shot and killed inside his home in the middle of the night. Someone fired into the windows of the house at 3 a.m.
A North Texas church has opened its doors for the first time following a deadly shooting. People walked into the West Freeway Church of Christ yesterday morning.
Jerry Jones finally making that statement that ends the 10-year tenure of Jason Garrett. Also reports Jones has already interviewed at least 2 former NFL coaches to replace Garrett. The most recent, former Packers head coach Mike McCarthy.
Some Bears helping themselves. A Tennessee family found the mom and her cubs ransacking their minivan after they had left the door open. No one was hurt. The Bears made off with some snacks. The Prime Minister of Finland is pushing for a 4-day work week. She also wants to reduce the workday from 8 hours to 6 hours. She says it would improve productivity and increase family time.
The Golden Globe ceremony proved victorious for the World War I-centered film 1917, which took home 2 big awards, Best Drama Film and Best Director for Sam Mendes.
Charmin pumped about its so-called Rollbot. Get this, the robot will fetch a new roll of toilet paper for you in your time of need. It is controlled by your smartphone, which will eventually need to be wiped down. Just saying.
What happens when you forget to put the extra roll of toilet paper on the robot?
Okay, see, you're right there. You're onto something.
Needing the robot. You're not helping. Because I didn't see little arms that he can go fetch it and put it on himself.
I didn't see that either. It's an add-on feature.
It's the tough questions you got to ask.
Let's go outside with live cam on your Monday morning, and we fear the Mount Cedar has taken another jump. Can you confirm, Mr. Horn?
It has indeed. The news we did not want to hear. It's gone even higher today. These numbers are just incredible, and just about everybody is now suffering from this Mount Cedar that is in the air right now. It may even get a little bit worse because we've got a front coming through this afternoon. I can't imagine that will help matters much. 51 degrees at the airport right now, 36 in Kerrville, 54 Rock Springs, 47 in Del Rio. We've taken a pretty big jump here. Temperatures will warm up pretty nicely this afternoon. Not a lot of wind there at this hour. We did have some fog a little bit earlier. Looks like that's all clearing up. Pleasanton is the one last holdout there at about 3/4 of a mile visibility, but we should see some pretty rapid improvement. There's the number, 28,160, very high. Mold also jumped up into the moderate category, just brutal. And looking at today's forecast, 74 the high temperature. We'll call it mostly sunny. Southwesterly winds, pretty light, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Again, we do have a front coming through tonight. That'll bring about some cooler temperatures tomorrow, may kick up that Mount Cedar even higher. We'll talk more about that forecast coming up here in just a couple minutes. Guys?
Thank you, sir. See you in a bit. We've got flashing lights out there right now. 410 Austin Highway. It appears to be on the loop itself. In the eastbound lanes, it is on the shoulder.
Well, top stories that we're following for you today. The family of a pregnant woman killed by the father of her children on Christmas will be able to say goodbye this morning.
Gabriela Rodriguez will be laid to rest today. Police say Rodriguez was shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend while dropping off their kids at his place Christmas morning. The suspect, identified as William Bayless, then turned the gun on himself. He died a few days later at University Hospital.
Rodriguez was 33 weeks pregnant when she was killed.
The San Antonio ISD community will come together this week to remember an officer killed last month while working a second job at IHOP.
Officer Cliff Martinez died after he was assaulted and run over by 2 men after he tried to break up a fight. A visitation will be held for Martinez today. It's happening at Porter Loring Mortuary on McCullough Avenue from 4 to 9 p.m. Then services are set for tomorrow morning at Community Bible Church in the 2400 block of Northeast, Loop 1604.
SAISD also announced that a new scholarship has been created in his honor. The scholarship will be given to students enrolled in the Police Explorer programs and students pursuing a career as a police officer.
If you plan on visiting the Riverwalk this week, you may notice it looks a little bit different.
Quite a bit different. A portion of the main channel is set to be drained today for regular maintenance. The water will be drained from Josephine to South Alamo. Officials say maintenance of the Riverwalk is crucial and hasn't actually happened in a few years. The draining is scheduled for this afternoon and will go through at least Thursday.
Restaurants and hotels along the Riverwalk will not be affected and will be open for business. You can find more information on the draining and how it will affect river cruises on KSAT12.
And don't forget today that our Max Massey will be sitting down with San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg to discuss current issues in our community and what's being done to solve those issues.
It's all part of our new series, Leading SA. Right now on KSAT.com, you can submit questions for the mayor. Just search for Leading SA and click on the story. And in your morning headlines, the much anticipated trial of Harvey Weinstein gets started today in New York, and unbelievable devastation in Australia.
And more devastation overseas, this time from flooding in Indonesia. And imagine watching the tire fall off your plane as it takes off. It actually happened.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very fun.
David Sears is here. Good morning, sir.
Hi, David. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. Nice to see you back.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
This is.
I've missed you guys.
Well, we missed you.
And I need a vacation from my vacation, which means I need to work.
You'll have to wait.
No, this is my vacation from the
is this
vacation.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it'll get better.
All
all the
good.
attention, all the accusations for so many women now condensed into the first trial for Harvey Weinstein. He is headed to court today to face sexual assault charges. More than 80 women have accused the movie producer of sexual misconduct. The Me Too movement began after the women came forward and accused Weinstein of abusing his power. Even after all the accusations, the trial boils down to 5 felony charges based on claims by 2 women. The case being heard in the New York Supreme Court. The jury selection expected to begin tomorrow. The trial expected to last until March. If Weinstein is found guilty, he could be in prison for the rest of his life. He has maintained his innocence and said he has pleaded not guilty, claiming the sex was consensual. Some people close to him even saying that he's planning a comeback after the trial. How about this view? You are inside the cockpit of a helicopter flying right into the fires in Australia. The orange color is just a glimpse of what's happening on the ground in that country. There are more than 135 fires burning across the country right now. Some 70 of those fires not even contained at all. Across that nation, 25 people have been killed, 2,000 homes have been destroyed, not to mention the number of animals that have been killed as well. This all done in an area twice the size of the state of Maryland. They were expecting rain and cooler temperatures today, which would bring some relief to them. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said the fires will be burning for months to come, but he said his government is already committing 2 billion Australian, equivalent to 1.4 billion in US dollars, to recovery efforts. While Australia is burning, this is what it looks like in Indonesia. Flash floods and landslides in the Jakarta region. 68 people have died. More than 35,000 have been displaced. Those who have lost their homes are living in government offices, schools, and malls. And finally, keep your eye on the inside tire of that plane's landing gear. First, it's on fire, and then the plane is going to lift off the ground on takeoff, and then watch what happens. Whoop, gone. Just gone. Where'd it go? A passenger is actually shooting that video, so you can imagine what he or she is thinking when the tire just leaves. And then they come back around after dropping some fuel, and check out this landing with just one tire. El Perfecto. 49 passengers, 3 crew members on board, nobody hurt. But a little scary, though, when you think the tire just...
Not what you want to see happen on your flight.
No.
However, the pilots that were interviewed about this said that's why there are 2 wheels, and one wheel does have the power to withstand the weight of a landing.
Other than the fact it was missing a tire, it looked like a fairly routine landing, just not a routine takeoff.
It's not a routine takeoff.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. And you just handed me some breaking news while I was standing there. Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Apparently.
Oh.
Fox Sports reporting, ESPN just confirmed. That was quick.
Well, we were going to just talk about the fact that they got rid of a coach, but now we have more to talk about
Did you
today.
find it, we'll talk about that in a minute, did you find it interesting when they make the announcement that Jason Garrett is no longer the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
What do you
They
mean?
waited a full week?
They made the announcement. It all came out during the game that the Cowboys would have been playing if they would have won against
that's not a
Philadelphia.
coincidence.
Yeah,
That's
so,
not a
yeah,
coincidence.
you don't think that was like timed?
Yeah, that was time. We're going to talk more about that later in the show.
Sports, yeah.
We
We
have
got
a
other
lot-
things to talk about too.
Oh, we have a lot of ground to cover today.
We have the soapbox ready, David.
We do.
You might need it today.
9:10, 51 degrees.